I apologize ahead of time if this is a little rough. I'm using a new program to try to do this screen capture. What I wanted to do was to show you how to use some of the resources that I have posted in terms of making a works cited page. So here we've got the blog. This is the week 6 assignment. So the link here to how to do works cited is here, citing sources, how and why. It also is up here under research if you want to find it, but I'll use this link here. Okay, so there's a short little 2-minute video about why we cite and explain something about what citation is here that you can click on and watch. But what I wanted to show you are the some of these resources here. So there are a lot of different ways to do citation. Some of them you could basically use a model and follow it. There also are some automated ways to do citations. So I just wanted to show you a quick tour of what some of the options are. The sort of quick, dirty, way to do it is from this handout. It doesn't give you a lot of information, but if you basically have a pretty good idea what you're doing, this is a quick way to find out, to get a model for a citation. So to access that, it's a handout that the Writing Center has available. In fact, it's probably our bestseller. If we charged for handouts, it would be our bestseller. If you're on campus, you can pick up paper copy, but it's a two-sided, one sheet that also is available electronically. So if you click that link, and then it's going to go into your downloads, and I'm opening it up here. So this has, on the front page here, it talks about MLA format in terms of in-text citation. In-text citation, as I explained earlier on that page, is where you mark within your text where you got your information from. So it's your responsibility in academic citation. Anytime that you get information from a source of any type, whether it's a web page or an article or you talk to someone, anytime you get any kind of information, where you use that information in your text, you need to mark that and give your reader an indication of what that source is. So there are a variety of different situations that are listed here. We're not going to get into this with Essay 2 because basically you're only using the one source. All your information is coming from that source. You're using electronic text, so you don't have to use page numbers. So we'll get into this first page with in-text citation. We'll get into that more in Essays 3 and 4. But in terms of, for Essay 3, what you're going to need to be able to do is do the works cited entry for your page. So that is on the second page here. What this is a sample works cited. It has a lot of different sources. In this shaded gray area here, it indicates the type of source. Anytime you're doing a citation, your first question is what type of source do you have? So these are the common types of sources that you might have. Doesn't include everything, but it includes most of the common ones. So you can see newspaper article, work in an anthology, magazine, book. So what you would do if you were going to use this sheet is find the type of source that you had and then look at this model and try to mimic it. Now, you have to pay attention to all sorts of details. You have to look at the order of the information. You have to look at capitalization. You have to look at punctuation. You have to look at what's in regular type and what's italic. So it's a lot of details to pay attention to. The problem that you might see as you look at this, it doesn't tell you what any of these things are. So if you look at this, it's pretty obvious that Nancy Hayward is an author. You can see it's her last name, comma, first name, period. But then when you get into this, this is the title of an article or a short work within a larger work, but it doesn't spell all that out. So this may be good if you basically know what you're doing. It gives you a quick resource, but it's not. You may have additional questions. either because the type of source you have isn't listed here, or because you don't know what some of these things are. Or there may be some unusual circumstance you've got. Maybe this is a work that someone wrote and then somebody else translated it, or you have a second edition and you want to know how to handle that, or you have 16 authors and you want to know if you have to include all of them. So there are a lot of unusual circumstances that might arise, so you might need to go beyond this as a source. So I also give you this link here. This is a link to the Purdue Online Writing Lab, OWL, their section on MLA documentation. Purdue Online Writing Lab is one of the most well-respected, well-known online writing labs in the country. It has a tremendous amount of information about grammar and all sorts of writing-related things, but it also is a good source for documentation. So click this link. Again, these bold-face green now are the hyperlinks. I hope that helps people. Click on that. This brings you to their formatting and style guide. There is the navigation is done through this menu here on the side. So there's some general information here. There's some information about in-text citation. Again, that was the first page on the Writing Center's guide. There's some information about formatting and generally in style in MLA. This would be things like margins and double spacing and 12-point times New Roman and all that kind of jazz that we're not worrying about too much with the blog format. But in terms of doing the Works Cited page, what you're looking at basically are these sections here. There's some basic information, so to get to that you click here, and it gives you some basic rules, capitalization and punctuation, authors' names, etc. So you could scroll down there. Again, I encourage you to look at this page and familiarize yourself with what information it has and where you can find it. And then below this basic information, there are 3-4 sections. One on books, one on periodicals. This would be if you had a magazine or a newspaper in your hand, not something that you found online, but an actual physical periodical. Anything that you get access through the computer would be under this electronic resources, which obviously that is where most students these days get their most of their research. And then there are some other common sources, which might be things like interviews or videos or that sort of thing. So if you have something online you want to find out, you click on this electronic source and you can scroll down. It gives you a basic information about the basic style for electronic sources, and then it has a variety of different types of sources, an entire website, a page on a website, an image, and you can scroll down and it has a variety of different types of electronic sources that you might have. Sorry, I hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. The advantage here is that not only does it give you the sample, the model, it also gives you sort of a template that tells you what all the different fields are. So this starts with the editor, the name of the site, and you can see here it's italicized, and you can see that here. The site title is italicized, and it explains what Purdue University and these dates, etc. So this is really a good one-stop shopping. Again, it's not going to have everything, but if you have anything more unusual, let me know. Get in touch with a librarian. Oftentimes, you can Google something and find information on how to do MLA citation. You want to make sure if you're looking for information on how to do citation that you're pulling up sites that are academic libraries or something that has some credibility, not about.com on how to do MLA citation. So this Purdue is a good one. I'm going to go back here a couple times, or back here, get back to the blog. Further, let's see where. If we click into this, citing sources, this is where I was. I do also say down here that I do also give you one other site that you may want to look at. Diana Hacker has a site. She is was probably the most well-known author of writers' handbooks. And she has a site that has documentation. She has documentation for not only MLA, but APA, Chicago, Turabian, CSE, which is a science citation system. But I link right here to the MLA one. To use this one, there's general information about in-text citation and the works cited page. And I know it's a lot of information. There's a lot involved in this citation. We're taking it baby steps at a time. That's why we're starting with this one source, just no in-text citation, just a works cited page. And then as we get into essays 3 and 4, we'll keep adding a little more. If you haven't done research writing before, this may seem like you're getting a whole lot of information dumped on you. Just, be patient, and hopefully it'll all come together. The in-text citation here, we can skip for now. List of works cited. If we click here, this one, she gives you a drop-down menu of different types of sources. So the basic format for a book with an author and an editor, book with an editor, and then here there's articles and periodicals and online sources. And then you would click on the type of source that you have. Article in an online magazine is a very common one. And here you can see, give the author the title of the article in quotation marks, the title of the magazine, etc. And then here she gives you a sample. And then if you want to get back to the menu, you click up here. So that's a useful source to use. The other thing, if I can get back to the right place, I also linked to a couple of automatic citation makers. Some of you may have used these in the past. If you have used them, if you have any experience using them, you want to pass on to the rest of us, you could put that in a comment. The two that I'm the most familiar with are EasyBib and Citation Machine. I'll just quickly get into EasyBib for a second. EasyBib does MLA, APA, and Chicago, but MLA is what it does for free. Or you can do it, apparently you can do a trial for APA. The nice thing about EasyBib is that it lets you set up accounts for your different research projects where you can save the sources as you're going along, and you can sign into these accounts and add to them, do a few sources one day, and then the next day you can sign in again and add sources. To do that, you'd sign up here. It lets you set up an account. It takes just a minute. If you're doing a lot of research projects, that's a useful thing to be able to do. The nice thing about it is that it will save your sources. It will alphabetize them and put them in the proper format. And when you get all the your sources done, you can export them into Word or whatever word processor you're using, and it handles all the formatting for you. If you're using MLA here, they give you an option here to just cut and paste the website in here and then click this. I'm not a fan of that way of doing things. It picks up a lot of extra junk, repeated titles and subtitles that really shouldn't be part of it. I think it's much better to use this manual site, but you would first look at pick the type of, anytime you do citation, you have to identify the type of source that you have. So if you had one of these major types, you could click these tabs, or you could click, if you click all 59 options, it gives you a variety of different types of sources. If we had an, let's see, magazine article here, we could click. This auto cite, again, this is where you paste the URL, copy the URL from the article and auto cite it. Again, I don't particularly recommend that unless you want to be doing a lot of cleaning things up. So basically, I would prefer, I think it works, it's a little more accurate to use this manual citation. You would pick what type of format you had, whether it was print or online, which is probably going to be most of the cases. If it were originally in print, say if it was from the New Yorker, for example, hint, hint. Magazine article, you'd put the article title here, the author. You just type in all the fields. It tells you what information you need, the date that it was published, the page numbers, the site that it was on. You just fill in all this. If there's something that you don't know the information to, you just leave it out. The access date is the date that you got the thing from online. So if you print something out, it will have a date on it, or if you aren't sure exactly what date it is, just guess. Put something that's reasonable for the course, depending on when the assignment started. If you click today, it will fill in the date for you. So you fill in all these things, you click this Create Citation, and it puts everything in the right order. It puts the punctuation in, it puts things italic if they're supposed to be italic, Roman if they're supposed to be Roman, etc. It will, I'm not going to bother taking the time to do one, but it will then spit out what the citation is. You can copy it and then put it in. You could put it on your blog if you wanted to hold on to it, or put it in a Word file, however you wanted to keep it. Or if you have set up your own account, you can put it in the project for that particular assignment, and then you'll be able to log in at a later date if you're adding sources as you go along. Okay, let's see. If we go back to here, Citation Machine is a very similar sort of product you can take a look at. Citation Machine does not let you set up an account and add to it the way EasyBib does, which is why I would recommend EasyBib over Citation Machine. But if you're familiar with Citation Machine and you want to use it, it's fine. As I said, there's a ton of details with all this. To my way of thinking, there's no reason to waste brain cells memorizing exactly how to do these various types of citations. The more you do them, they will be faster, and you'll remember a good portion of it, hopefully, if you're doing enough research projects as you go along. But there are always, for me, there's always things that I'm looking up. Which goes first, or is this supposed to be a period, or is it supposed to be a comma, or whatever. So don't worry about it. But again, the Writing Center's handout, Purdue Online section that I showed you earlier, Diana Hacker's site, and EasyBib. Get familiar with them. Pick whichever you're more comfortable using. If you have questions, just holler. But as again, we're going to start this slow. For this first essay 2, all you need to do is the citation for that one article, the thing that you're summarizing, the article that you're summarizing and responding to. You'll have works cited, and then just the citation for that one article. And then we'll talk some more about in-text citation and formatting works cited pages that have more than one entry. Okay, that's it for now.